Good morning. This is Jacob, and a verse was on my mind this morning was from Second Timothy. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God did not give us a spirit of timidity, but of power, of love, and discipline, or self-control." And I was just thinking about that this morning. Also woke up this morning with a burst of joy. I prayed last night that would be the case, and I'm so super thankful for a little bit of joy this morning. It's not to the full dose that I'd like, but it's not to the dosage that I've known at certain times in my life. But there was some there, and I'll take anything I can get. So I'm really having a thankful, joyous morning. I've got a little joy right now, welling up inside of me. This morning, Psalm 37, and it's a Psalm of David. I'll go ahead and read it for you, and then we'll carry on. So thanks for listening, and I hope you're blessed this morning. And here we go, Psalm 37. Do not fret because of evildoers. Be not envious towards wrongdoers, for they will wither quickly like the grass, and fade like the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and cultivate faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust also in him, and he will do it. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who carries out wicked schemes. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Do not fret, it leads only to evil doing. For evildoers will be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord, they will inherit the land. Yet a little while, and the wicked man will be no more. And you will look carefully for his place, and he will not be there. But the humble will inherit the land, and will delight themselves in abundant prosperity. The wicked plots against the righteous, and gnashes at him with his teeth. The Lord laughs at him, for he sees his day is coming. The wicked have drawn the sword and bent their bow, to cast down the afflicted and the needy, to slay those who are upright in conduct. Their sword will enter their own heart, and their bows will be broken. Better is the little of the righteous than the abundance of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked will be broken, but the Lord sustains the righteous. The Lord knows the days of the blameless, and their inheritance will be forever. They will not be ashamed in the time of evil, and in the days of famine they will have abundance. But the wicked will perish, and the enemies of the Lord will be like the glory of the pastures. They vanish. Like smoke they vanish away. The wicked borrows and does not pay back, but the righteous is gracious and gives. For those blessed by him will inherit the land, but those cursed by him will be cut off. The steps of a man are established by the Lord, and he delights in his way. When he falls, he will not be hurled headlong, because the Lord is the one who holds his hand. I have been young, and now I am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, or his descendants begging bread. All day long he is gracious and lends, and his descendants are a blessing. Depart from evil and do good, so you will abide forever. For the Lord loves justice, and does not forsake his godly ones. They are preserved forever, but the descendants of the wicked will be cut off. The righteous will inherit the land and dwell in it forever. The mouth of the righteous utters wisdom, and his tongue speaks justice. The law of his God is in his heart. His steps do not slip. The wicked spies upon the righteous and seeks to kill him. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, or let him be condemned when he is judged. Wait for the Lord and keep his way, and he will exalt you to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, you will see it. I have seen a wicked, violent man spreading himself like a luxuriant tree in its native soil. Then he passed away, and lo, he was no more. I sought for him, but he could not be found. Mark the blameless man, and behold the upright, for the man of peace will have a posterity. But transgressors will be altogether destroyed. The posterity of the wicked will be cut off. But the salvation of the righteous is from the Lord. He is their strength in time of trouble. The Lord helps and delivers them. He delivers them from the wicked and saves them, because they take refuge in him. This is a beautiful psalm of David, and continually in this psalm, the righteous, the righteous ones are told to wait on the Lord. Wait patiently. Verse 7 says, "Wait patiently for him. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently. Do not fret when evil men succeed in their ways." I can speak personally for that. I know I have examples in my life. When I used to be in the professional golf arena, every other pro golfer that you come in contact with was out to beat your guts out, and their attitudes and their lives and their conduct, the ungodly, most of them were. They would really like to just step on you, like we saw yesterday in Psalm 36. Don't let pride just step on me. They would just they were out for blood, and that made it difficult to not fret and be anxious and say, Lord, look at why are you letting them be blessed? And the answer is usually, it rains on the just and the unjust alike. It rains on the just and the unjust alike. Another example is in the barnwood business. This psalm is so pivotal for me right now. I just yesterday I was approached by people that are spying on me, spying on my business, and wanting to tear me down, wanting to blot me out. And this psalm is encouraging me, and to be honest, I'm having to hang on to it because hang on to the promise and the words of the Lord a little bit tighter than than I would like. Yeah, just yesterday I had people in my business field spying on me and wanting to know and wanting to tear me down and definitely not wanting me to do well. So yeah, I think we need to be cautious to not fret. Do not fret. Do not fix your eyes on the unrighteous. What did the righteous and the unrighteous have in common? What does light and darkness have in common? When our eyes shift onto the way of the wicked, the way of the unrighteous, the way of the sinner, the ungodly, and then we tend to look at their lives. What does that do? It takes our eyes onto humanity, and it takes our eyes off of our relationship with the Lord and what He's put in front of us. Like Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd; I shall not be in want. And here we see in Psalm 37, it describes what's going to happen. Sadly, what's going to happen to the wicked man, and he will be no more. He will fade like the green herb. They will wither quickly like the grass. And then here's our instruction as believers, as saints in the land: trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and cultivate faithfulness. And verse 4 is I've got here. It's a life verse for me. It's and I'm sure it's applicable to anybody that knows the Lord. The verse that comes to mind is, taste and see that the Lord is good. If you don't know the Lord is good, I plead with you, taste and see that the Lord is good, and His kingdom it lasts forever and ever. And in verse 4 it says, delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord, trust also in him, and he will do it. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your judgment as the noonday. Um, that's awesome. Whatever your hands find to do, give it to the Lord, commit it to him. It may be totally corrupt, it may be totally tainted. It may be, if you want to if you've never golfed before and you want to and you want to do this and step up to the first tee, you may totally stink at it, and you may totally be in error in so many ways, shapes, and forms. But commit it to the Lord. And what does it say? Trust also in him, and he will do it. He will bring forth. He will lead you in a level path. And in verse 7, continue on, it says, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. And again, do not fret because of him who profits in his way, because of the man who carries out wicked schemes. That's very applicable to my life right now. I'm going to confess it's really hard the last couple of days, but the way out of that is we're not just told not to do that. We're given an example. And here's what we're to do. We're to delight ourselves in the Lord. And he'll give us the desires of our hearts. By delighting the Lord knows what we need before we even ask him. And when we delight ourselves and we cling on, we grasp, we get to experience more and more abundant life. And that in him was life. And that's from the Lord. That life is in Christ. It's not apart from Christ. And what would it profit a man to gain the whole world yet to lose his own soul? What would it profit a man? What would it profit a Bill Gates or Donald Trump or a billionaire, millionaire spends his whole life gaining the whole world, owning land, owning the earth, getting money, da 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 da, and loses his own soul in the process, becomes robotic, becomes a machine, becomes something that isn't even human anymore, and then the end of his life faces the judgment seat of Christ, and is judged by the Lord. If he knows Jesus, then he's in. But if he doesn't, then what did all that hustle and bustle and tussle profit him? Nothing, not a thing. And Psalm 37 talks about that. It'll fade away like a green herb, like the grass. You know, you ever cut the grass? It's done. Verse 8, cease from anger and forsake wrath. Do not fret, it leads only to evil doing. See, when we fret, when we get all flustered, we act out of that flusteredness. And that is not the way that we're called to live. And we just this morning, that verse in 2 Timothy 1:7, it said, God did not give us a spirit that makes us afraid, but a spirit of power, of love, and self-control. When we act out of being fretted up or frazzled, as I like to say, we're not living and behaving and enjoying self-control that is in Christ. We're taking things into our own hands and taking matters in our own hands, and so the instruction here is do not fret. It leads only to evil doing. In other words, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Enjoy what the Lord's put in front of you. You know, seek his life. Seek his face. Delight yourself in him. Give him thanks. Give him praise. And also fretting when we look at evildoers and their ways. And what is that? That's coveting. That's comparison. And what does that lead to? It leads to ungratefulness. It doesn't lead to thankfulness, a thankful heart. It leads to covetousness and all sorts of evil. It says right there. It says leads to only to evil doing. It doesn't lead any other way. It leads only to evil doing. For evildoers will be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord, they will inherit the land. Wait for the Lord. This whole life is waiting. So we get to experience the enjoyments of this earth. You know, if you aim for heaven, you get earth thrown in. If you aim for earth, you get neither. And aiming for heaven and waiting for the heavenly city and waiting for the Lord to return, we will inherit the land. This is Jacob, and I encourage you to finish out Psalm 37 for yourself. Thanks.